Welcome to Yeukai Business Show, UK's premier business show where we feature business thought leaders, high achievers, and industry experts. Today's episode is brought to you by World Outsourcing Solutions Limited, a company that specializes in helping executive business owners with virtual assistant services and business growth systems. Here's your host, Yeukai Kechidori.
Hi guys, welcome to another very special episode, and today I'm delighted to have Kerry Wekelo with us, who is the Chief Operating Officer at a company called Actualize Consulting. Kerry has done very well for herself, and she has been in the industry for the last 15 years and has got an amazing book which is out there that I'll get Kerry to talk to us about. But we are super excited. Now, you may be considering, how can you infuse a great culture in your organization? You are going to find exactly how to do that in today's episode. Kerry, thank you so much for joining us on the show.
My pleasure.
Awesome. I know you guys are having exciting times over there in US right now.
Yes.
We won't go into so much detail about that, but how is it like to be in that environment? I hope you are safe.
I am definitely safe, and I choose to not really engage in all the news and media and just listen to what other people are saying, because it helps me to stay balanced and focused, because you know what? I can't really change the outcome. I'm just waiting for the answer, honestly.
Yes. And, before we jump into our conversation, one of the things I know you truly believe in is, gratitude. Talk to us about that, because you've got a beautiful saying that I looked at your profile earlier on, and I thought, I want to know more about that. You say, pause with gratitude and pivot to a positive, and this works in any situation. Tell us very briefly about that.
Yeah, it's interesting because it is the one thing that has saved me so much time and energy, personally and professionally, is when I do have a challenge and I coach and I teach our team within Actualize, my clients, on when you're dealing with a challenge, taking that moment to pause, and instead of you're spinning about what's in front of you, what are you grateful for in the moment of the challenge? And I can give an easy example of maybe you missed a deadline, right? But okay, let's pause. I missed the deadline. I'm grateful that I have the opportunity to still submit the deliverable to the client. They're going to let me submit it. Okay. And then you pivot to what is either the positive, like what's the positive outcome, or what's the lesson that was learned, or maybe it's a combination of both. But what's really important is that you shift your mindset to anytime you have a challenge in front of you, you're immediately looking to lesson learned, what's a positive way that I can resolve it, instead of spending too much time in the negativity of the actual challenge. It really just helps you do it. And I say that there's a cumulative impact when you do this process over and over. You just really don't even have the capacity any longer to spin in the negativity. You just are more quickly moving forward into how you can resolve the issue. So it's been something that has worked beautifully within our organization and with our clients. Amazing. And I use it with my kids too.
Well, if it's working in one area, why not use it in another area?
Absolutely.
Amazing. Well, Kerry, for those who haven't come across your work, please let us know who you are and what makes you tick.
Okay. Well, my name is Kerry, as you said, and I have been in consulting my entire career, and for the last 15 years, helping build and grow Actualize Consulting. And I'm passionate about creating and maintaining thriving organizational cultures and really keeping a really close pulse on our people and their needs and wants and aspirations. And it's really been effective for our firm and made us continuously be successful as an organization.
Amazing, amazing. And you have worked with some amazing companies and had tremendous success. Would you share with us some of the major achievement or some of the major contribution you've had over the last 15 years to business owners?
Sure. I think what I've done is, 10 years ago, after I'd been with the organization for 5, we had 33% turnover. And that's when I really decided and asked the partners if we could shift to focusing on our people. So for the last 4 years, we've had less than 4% turnover. So I'm really proud about that.
Which
We've
is
also
amazing.
Right. And and that 4%, and I recognize sometimes people need to move on, or maybe they don't want to be in consulting anymore and they want to go back to industry. So it's okay that people are leaving, but the majority of people are happy. They want to stay and they really are happy being in our environment. So I'm very pleased with that statistic. And then we've recently been winning over the last couple years a great place. We've been certified as a great place to work. I'm in the States, so the Washington Post is a major publication here, and we've gotten top place to work awards from them as well. And the great thing is all of those awards are based on employee surveys.
Wow.
So it's not me just saying, oh, we're a great place to work. It's really our employees saying, listen, it is a great place to work. It is a top culture. It is some place that they really care about us as individuals. So that's been fun to be recognized that way. And,
Mhm.
one of the things that I'd say that has really, I feel like helps our organization and, as you're building out your careers, you're coaching people, you are um, starting organizations, how you do your goals and how you measure performance, having those aligned is key to the
Yeah.
success of your organization. And that's something that I tweak every year to make sure it's what the people need. And I am also a big fan of surveys and asking our team how we
Mhm.
can do better. Do they have any suggestions? And I'd say those are really how I've continued to be successful.
Amazing. What I love about your track record, because it's one thing to have 4% less, over maybe a year or two, but for you to be consistently getting that, it means that the principles you talk about, culture infusion, actually works. Because once you figure out the formula, you can repeat it in any organization over and over and over again. And shortly, I'm hoping we will cover maybe 3 or 4 of those principles right now. But Kerry, I know something that when you started with the company, the very 4 years, you discovered that something had to change. Uh, Talk to us about that.
Right. Well, those first years as a startup organization, there's a lot that needs to be done. And we were really focused on financially being stable and operationally making sure that we could sustain as a firm. And that was the focus. And what I realized after 5 years is that the focus hadn't been on our people. And we're a consulting company. We don't sell a product, we sell our people's services. So we
Yeah,
need our people to be 100 and over 100% happy, right?
yeah,
Because the more engaged they are, the happier they are, the more value they're going to give to our clients. So it's funny to me now, but at first I was just so focused on, starting the business.
yeah. Amazing. And it's even more important right now to have a thriving culture in an organization, especially now that we are working from home. And I hope we can share some nuggets on that toward the end of our conversation. But let's dive into talking about the principles that you've seen work in creating and maintaining a thriving culture. I know you mentioned constant change or responding to the changes on a year in and year out. Is there anything else that you want to add on that, or want to jump on to the next principle?
I think that was good. It's really surveying, asking your teams what they need and want.
Yeah, yeah. Amazing. It does work, for has worked for us, to be responsive, to what is happening. Maybe you talk about communication in another area. Talk to us how you do that in your organization.
Open and honest communication is so key in any relationship organization that we have. And it even goes back to how do you handle challenges. Having open communication is really important. And what we promote, and I have some really easy techniques. Do you know what the first rule of improv is?
No, please let me know.
Yes, and. So I use that as a funny way. What's the improv? When you're doing improv comedy, you're always saying yes to the unknown. So I try to teach our people that if somebody comes with you with an idea, clearly they're passionate about it. Don't just say no. Say yes, tell me more. Yes, and I want to hear more about it. And then maybe you won't go with what they're saying, but at least you made them feel appreciated that they're even coming to the table with an idea. So
Yeah.
that's one easy principle. The other thing is really, and especially like the times that we're going through now, being open and honest about what's going on with your organization. Now, we were fortunate enough that we were pretty steady during the initial pieces of the pandemic. We weren't growing, but we were steady. We weren't losing money, which I think in this time, day and age, was impressive, right?
Yeah.
But people were worried. They saw their friends and families being laid off. They saw our utilization rates going down. So we made it a point to increase our communication to our teams. We're doing okay. We're going to have bonuses. We're not having layoffs. This is what's in the pipeline. This is when we think projects are going to hit. So I think being open and honest as a management team is absolutely important. And always listening, taking time to listen. And I've always done this, but even now, instead of jumping into a conversation quickly, I really want to ask how somebody's doing. How are you doing today?
Wow.
Because there is so much crazy in the world right now. And if we can just ask people how they're doing and truly listen, and then also let's not talk over people. Let's really take time to be an active, good listener.
Be present.
Hmm.
Amazing. Amazing. Uh, Uh, one of the things this is where I sort of share my own experience. Communicating with the team or your culture. Most of my team are, scattered across the world, really, because we run an outsourcing company. Uh, Sometimes I struggle with figuring out, are they getting what I'm trying to put across? How do you get that feedback? How do you manage that, Kerry?
We also have a workforce that is in the US and different states. We're also in the UK and Canada as well. And I think bringing people together using technology, um, and we do it a couple ways. We'll do a monthly all hands call, which everybody's on the call together. And then we have smaller group sessions with each practice area. We have team meetings, but I think it's critical that you are having overall meetings, but then breaking it down and really taking time to connect with each person, using the technology, using video, using instant message, whatever technologies that you have, making sure that you're in constant communication and having an open door policy that people know that they can come to you really with anything going on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Amazing, amazing, awesome. So, what else do you guys believe is your key to success when it comes to creating a culture, a thriving culture?
Right. And I've touched on some of the ones before, but the one that I think is really important is that we encourage our people to prioritize their own personal wellness. And if our people are doing well, not mentally, physically, they don't have too much work on their plate, that they have projects and assignments that are really inspiring them, they're going to be better all the way around, right? So that's something we do a lot around different wellness challenges within our organization. We'll do mindful breaks. We've been doing virtual events each month to bring people together to have a little bit of fun as well. And even yesterday, we did a magic show, which I was super impressed with a magician taking his show virtually. And I have had so many people come to me afterwards and say, it's those small things that
Yes.
make us love Actualize, that you're really trying to look at us as a holistic person, not just what we're bringing to the table from work, but how are we personally doing? Because if you're not personally thriving, you're not going to be doing well at work. So I really think that prioritizing people's personal wellness is key to a thriving organizational culture for sure.
Amazing, because it makes perfect sense, because if they're strong and they feel appreciated, they go an extra mile in making or going towards the company goals. What would you say to CEOs or business owners who may be struggling to bring in that personal touch which you are sort of bringing in your organization for them to do right now?
I'd say start checking in with one person each week and asking them how they're doing. That's what I do to make sure that I'm talking to everybody. I do one or two people a week and I just rotate it. I keep a list. I'm the chief operating officer. If I have time, other people have time, right? You make the time. And what I find is that it inspires me too. And then I'm feeling more engaged and connected with our people. And then they are too. The other thing that we've done recently, because we usually have an annual retreat where everybody gets together and we see each other in person, and because we're so distributed throughout the world, and that was canceled. So we've scheduled almost like a fireside chat, but we did partner chats on Zoom, which we had no more than 6 people, and just talked about why we are passionate about the work that we do. What are things that we could do to improve? And having those smaller discussions with the partner level, and then I was in those calls as well, really made people feel more connected as well.
Wow, amazing. Absolutely amazing. One of the things, Kerry, that we get often asked by the people who are listening, and I know some will be asking that later on, is what are some of the mistakes that you probably have observed yourself doing, or you observe other people doing when they're attempting to create a thriving culture?
I'd say the number one mistake is not asking your people what they think. Not
Yeah.
in I think that's where I was remiss previously, and I think I just get better every year on how many people I'm asking. And I used to do a lot of surveys, and now I've even been just asking for individual feedback. So, for instance, with our new performance and gold template, I've been asking individuals to give me comments, and I feel really good about what it's going to look like next year because I've had so much input. And the interesting thing is I've taken everybody's comments in a way, right? And I think it's going to be brilliant now, right? And then people are going to be more in tune to fill it out and be a part of it because they helped create it. So asking, I'd say that's number one. Because sometimes when you're the boss or you're in charge, you think you know all the answers, and you just unfortunately, we don't. I
You
mean,
don't.
sometimes I like to think I do, but I really don't at the end of the day. I think having more opinions is always better. I think the other mistake is being too authoritative, like
Right.
it's your way versus other people's way. And I think that goes back to the yes and when people you have to remember, and I think this is something that I used to do, and I'm sure I still do it occasionally. is saying no when somebody's coming to me with an idea, and it has to sting, right? Because I know it stings when I give people ideas and they're like no immediately. So really just being empathetic and really making sure that if somebody takes the time to come to you with an idea or a problem, listen. Don't just naysay them
Yeah,
immediately. So I'd say those are the top two things that mistakes that I've seen. And I think they both go back to being more inclusive.
yeah, yeah. Because if you get them to buy in, they're likely to run with it in the end. Uh, One of the things, Kerry, here maybe would help our listeners, those that are getting started right now, that maybe they've got 3 or 4 people on their team right now, and they really want to embrace this concept of creating a culture of openness, honesty, inclusion, and where should they start from to do that?
That's a really good question. I would say number one, if they were smaller as an organization, is to come up with a plan on what do they want
Yeah,
culturally as an organization, right?
right,
So there being only a couple people, brainstorm. What do you want to do? I think making sure that you have I think goals and performance. What are your goals for the year? How are you going to measure performance? That's a really easy way to start. And
right,
you can have goals in there. As maybe we're going to need to do this as corporate social responsibility, giving back together. These are the different wellness activities that we want to do as a firm, just so we are continuously making sure that we have our people balanced and happy and healthy, right? These
right.
are the goals that we want financially, operationally. So make sure that you really align from the goals and then how you're going to measure that performance. And I think that's a great first step on culture as well, because you can bake in some of the softer aspects.
Amazing, amazing. And once you figure out your goal, you can be very consistent with it until it becomes a culture. People knows what they're supposed to be doing. Are there any other steps, perhaps, I did not get to ask you about, but you strongly feel that if any business owner could get these things right, they will have a greater chance of creating a thriving culture you want to talk about?
Right. Well, this goes to my second book. I mean, I have Culture Infusion, and then my latest book is Gratitude Infusion. And I would say incorporating gratitude into the way you operate your firm. It is quick, fast, and 100% free. I mean, what more is there to ask for? But
Yeah,
being grateful for your teams, incorporating that into your culture, I think is something that always feels good. And even using gratitude, and that's even when we're pausing to pivot to a positive, we're starting in gratitude because it is it does shift your mindset quite quickly.
yeah, but how do you practically do this? Is this just a thank you when somebody completes a job, or you have a very systematic way of showing gratitude? How do you go about doing this?
Right. Well, going back to my word infusion, it has to be consistent and
Yeah,
done on multiple different ways. So, for example, we have a section in our newsletter that goes out to our teams on kudos, gratitude, appreciation, not only from our team members to other team members, but from our clients. So, we're highlighting that, showcasing how amazing each one of our people are. And when I first started doing it, those sections would be small and now they're much larger. So
yeah,
publicly displaying that gratitude, I think, is important. We do star and key players that we will post on social media as well. So those are bigger, more corporate level ways. But then, yes, of course, on a daily basis, pick one person that you're grateful for and let them know. And the key is being specific, not
yeah,
just saying thank you, but let's say somebody stayed late to help meet a deadline, being specific. I know you stayed late, you missed time with your family, but the client is really pleased with the deliverable and they're talking about giving us additional work.
Amazing. Amazing. Yeah, absolutely amazing. Well, we are coming toward the end of our time here, Kerry, and we always want to talk to you as a business owner. Take away everything else that you do. What drives you to do what you do?
That is an excellent question. What drives me to do what I do is I I get very excited about people being successful
Wonderful.
and being happy. And it's my passion to create that environment for our team. And that's really what inspires me each and every day.
Wow, amazing. Well, you are certainly doing that, in creating a culture in your organization. And if you were to do, this all over again, knowing what you know now, what would you do differently to speed the process of producing the results that you're producing now?
I would, another good question. I think if I would have used my pause to pivot to a positive earlier in my career, I would have saved myself a ton of time.
Wow.
I used to spin on challenges or want to talk it through with 10 different people, and now I just move quickly. Many times people won't even know I faced a challenge because I just move on.
Wow, amazing. Well, Kerry, this has been absolutely wonderful, and I know there will be people who wants to learn from you or work with your company. Where can they find you?
Well, we're actualizeconsulting.com. We're also on LinkedIn. I'm personally Kerry Wekelo on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram. And then Actualize Consulting also has a page on LinkedIn and Twitter.
Awesome. And I know you guys have got an office here in London. Would you share a bit about that as well?
Right. Yeah. It's been an expansion over the last 2 years. And that team is we're very specialized in financial services, and they're focused in the Treasury advisory services.
Awesome. And where can they be reached? Do you have their specific website?
Oh, they're also actualizeconsulting.com as well. Yeah.
Awesome. So once you are there, people.
Yeah, exactly. You can get in touch with all of us.
Well, that's brilliant. Well, Kerry, thank you so much for spending time with us here. Final words to fellow business owners during the pandemic.
Final words. Find one person to be grateful for and specifically let them know why. And it'll make you feel better and that other person.
Amazing. Well, there you have it, guys. If you want to create a thriving culture in your organization, you just had some amazing steps that you can apply. As we always say, apply one or two things. You will be amazed at what will happen after that. And if you want to learn more about how to go about it, Kerry has written 2 books, maybe more. Kerry, how many books have you written?
Well, I have some children's books, but only 2 business ones.
Yes. Are you okay to share those 2 ones and where they can find them?
Sure. Right. Culture Infusion and Gratitude Infusion is the latest one, and both of them are available on Amazon.
Wonderful. There you go, guys. If you want to learn more about the subject we're talking about, we will put a link below this audio recording for you to access that, or you can catch up with Kerry on either LinkedIn. We'll put all those links below for you to access that. And as always, we want to wish you the best. And if you've got any question, reach out in the community and we'll be delighted to support you. Again, Kerry, thank you for being with us today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you for listening to Yeukai Business Show. We will be back to bring you more episodes with success stories and advice straight from the experts. Want more? Check out www.yukaibusinessshow.com. Get your free trial of our virtual assistant service today. Just visit www.worldoutsourcingsolutions.com. Quote WOS18 or send us an email at support@worldoutsourcingsolutions.com.